Welcome. As it's a very nice summer evening, I'm just going to keep this nice and short. What I'm going to do is just wander through the markets and just give you a couple of trade ideas and see what you think. I'm looking at the dollar index because what the dollar index does could have a major impact on these markets. One of the things I'm interested in at the moment is gold, because we've got Chinese and US inflation this week. So just taking a good look at gold. I'm sorry about that. But as gold is heavily influenced, of course, by the state of the dollar. You can see the dollar has come right into this resistance area. This is the dollar basket, which of course is dominated by euro. So if this pushes up through this resistance, then that could drag gold down. If we look at gold now, we have got all the support underneath it. That's the 200-day average underneath it and the 20-day average above it. Excuse me 1 second. So I'm already nibbling on some of the gold at this level here, which is currently 1934. I've literally just bought just under here. Potentially holding this overnight. You can see it's a big move up on non-farm payroll Friday, monthly jobs on Friday, but not even into the 20-day average. So we haven't got confluence across the time frames. We haven't got agreement across all the time frames. But if these lows hold and we can nudge higher, I think we can break these recent highs and go to 2000 plus. So we're coming into inflation data in that apex. And so let's keep to the commodities then. Oil has nudged right into this April resistance area and is really struggling here. If you look at the MACD a moment, we are not divergent. In other words, the MACD is not making a lower high here, which can be a very good heads up. So the oil is holding itself up just, although we could get another lower close here. So we've got a sweeping lower close on the Wednesday, dragged up on the Thursday, and then struggled at that resistance high on the Friday. And here we are just backing down again, which is quite normal for a Monday anyway, as the market just reconnects with where it was on Friday. So that's going to finish the day right back in that apex, having broken out from it. My view is I think oil is probably about done here. The US drive season, which is a big important factor in oil, is obviously underway, given that we are now we've come to the end of the first week in August. I think these lows are still buyable, but I think we are, all we got to do is close underneath this 80. And of course, at the moment we are close to 82. So I think we could easily see 84, 85 if we can punch high and hold this dip, this early part of the week. But with US GDP on Friday, I think it is, that could, if the market likes the GDP number, then this dip could launch us into 85 plus. But it's certainly a tough area for oil, and there is divergence. I just noticed there is divergence. You can see that in this MACD, the histogram is making a lower high, and the histogram could close under that midline, which could give us a heads up. Anyway, I like the gold, but the gold's got a lot of work to do. The oil's struggling. In the meantime, the indices have picked up. This drop on Friday at the moment has got bought. Again, look at the MACD. The MACD is suggesting that this we've already peaked. And typically you would, this time of year, you would see August be pretty lower to pretty flat. So if we run into this 35,700 again, or a little bit underneath here, 35 and a half, and don't hold it, then I would start to sell. Look at the FTSE. So started a decline into that resistance area on the Tuesday, accelerated on Wednesday, Thursday, recovering somewhat the Friday. So I'm looking to short about 76.50, 76.70 at these highs. So we go on the underside. So what I'm looking at here on a pattern trading side, we've broken down through this support. So if we can tap the underside of that, which would take it around about the 76.70 area, and sell, then I'd expect this to really roll over. So I think this is wave one. That would, a lower high up there would be wave two, and wave three could see us charge down to at least these levels and lower. So don't get complacent about any potential rise up here at the moment. The FTSE is the one that I'm really looking to short. And if that works, that could be good for gold. If the market gets spooked, this can run up even with a strong dollar if the market gets spooked, and a decent drop in that FTSE could deliver that. So look at the volatility index. Yeah, so this volatility index, it's a good marker. This is pulling up. This is broken up. So if we again break that high, that volatility index could, again with a strong dollar, really drag this market down. Euro, fallen out of this February high. So at the moment, I would, it's under the 8-day average. I would, any move into above 110, 111, I would short. FTSE, it's not FTSE, the pound, any push into 128, 129. I mean, this is a big resistance area here, but a move, yeah, we've got much more resistance there at 128.50. If we can get a push into that, then I think that is a chance to sell as well. Let's look at a quick look at Bitcoin. I never look at Bitcoin. I don't look at Bitcoin enough. I think this Bitcoin is done for now. I think that resistance has got sold into. We've got main 23 support down there at 26. I think if you get any push into these, back into that Wednesday high, I think this is going to tumble down. I just think this is, we pushed right into the ambush zone up there at the high, rejected it. So any further attempt to push higher, I think will be sold into, and then we'll start to make our way down potentially to this year's lows. If we really break, then I'd expect to see 7,500 and possibly lower. There aren't any gaps in this at the moment. Right, so moving across, I'm going to stay with commodities still. because I'm liking this corn a lot. I'm staying out of the corn at the moment, but we're falling back into this buy area from the 13th of July. I need to see some more volume, and I'm going to be very patient. I'm going to wait for the corn to close above 5. If we close above $5, I think this could really start to get going. If it stays in this little range, I will just back off and leave it. But if it does close above that 5, I mean, the wheat, that looks already, that looks as if that is buyable. I think the wheat at 665 looks to me as if that is already turned. However, if we do go close to the 6, I will be a buyer of the wheat. Gas, natural gas. I've said this several times. I think this is a good time to start nibbling on gas. If you see a return to 25 and a half, I personally think that is a good place to get in. If this is already breaking out and running, then you're potentially going to have to pay higher. But be patient. Let's just see if that can drag back. But I think that is already looking like that's ready to go. But I'm going to be impatient with that one. You know what? I view this a bit of a miss, not buying that 24 and a half already. But let's see if we can get that to dip further. Right. So let's go to. Just gonna, like I said, I'm going to keep this nice and short. Let's just go through a couple of banks. Barclays. Yeah, I mean that. If you're following these banks, and that 145 was a good place to potentially get in. Any push back into 145, 147, I think is viable on the Barclays. Lloyd's, I'd expect to see something similar. Lloyd's is struggling. Lloyd's is not as good at the moment. See if that returns to 42. I'll tell you what, if that closes above 43, 44, then that's time to get in. So perhaps a better way of looking at this is not so much looking at the lows, but looking for confirmation that I can get above 44. So be patient. Let's look at pay. That's already been on a run. Legal and general. So the financials are picking up here. No, I don't like that one, Saga. Standard Chartered. That's already picked up nicely. So that's come from a recent low of 595 to 745. So that's why I think Lloyds and Barclays could be. I think they might play catch up. HSBC is already high, looking higher. So Barclays and Lloyds could well be a catch up. Let's look at some energy. Update on Tullow. Tullow's having a good time. I think he pulled back to 32. If we see any push in close to the 30, I think that's viable. PFC is doing all right. That one looks okay on a pullback as well, I guess. Nope. Yuck. hunting. That looks if that needs a pullback. 235 is the pullback area on that one. But if that works, you could find that going back to 350. Let's look at Elementis holding up okay, not brilliant. Man group. Down at key level of support. Volumes are rubbish, so steer clear. Glencore. I think if they see, I think these lows, again, you need to perhaps be patient with these. This is not a time of year to launch yourself into stuff. Gem diamonds. Ooh. Okay, let's steer clear of that. Fresnillo. Look at the miners. Yeah. It's holding the 20th average. I'm in this, so I think PAF is good. Hochschild pulling back into support. I think Hochschild is a buyer at 875.80. I like the miners. I like the energy. I like basic materials. I would risk some capital on the banks. I'm just steering clear of retail. Look at. I classify these airlines as retail. Hitting a lot of resistance up there is British Airways, EasyJet. It's not for me. It's hard to call that. It's got a lot of support underneath it. A lot of resistance up there at £5. It's not for me. I'm not touching it. Right. Housing. Let's look at Barratt Developments. Well, I'm very pessimistic on property in the UK, so I think but look at that. I mean, it's had a huge bounce. That looked really sick down there and then spun up. But note how weak the volume is. So we've since this squirt higher, we have suffered on the volume. It's not shortable. If you are interested in this, I would wait for a decent pullback for at least 420. I'm not trading it. FYI. Persimmon. No, not for me. Right, I'm just about finishing now. I'm just going to have a quick look around. There's a couple of others I want to look at. Got the ticker. QQ, of course. No, can't find it. Oh, it's here. Yeah, it's here. This one had a good run in the early part of the year, and now it's gone right back to the breakup area. This is not uncommon. This could be just a very nice V-shaped return. It's a defense stock in the defense industry. There's a lot there's a lot of support down there. It's a big price support area for QQ. Again, I think don't charge into this. So we've been down here in November last year. February this year, we dipped lower and then ran. We've dipped lower. If I'm very interested in this. If that starts to close above 330, I'm in. The other one I want to look at before I go is there's no buy signal down there at the moment, but keep a close eye on this Drax. This is a good stock. Look at that chart pattern. If we start closing above 595.6, I think that could go higher. That's a general question. What I think, what markets am I really focused on? I'm focused on commodities, particularly softs, i.e. the corn and the wheat. Very focused on the corn and the wheat. Concern with oil, the oil might be struggling up here. Yeah. I'm there. I still think we're in a commodity super cycle, so I'm still buying dips in gold, liking the corn and the wheat, as I said. I think gas, any dip in that gas, and this is a good cyclical time of year to buy gas. Yeah, I've done a study of the crop reports last week. We've got the thing that appears to be holding the grains back is there were good stocks at the back end of this year into the start of this year. With the weather that the US wheat belt is experiencing is very positive for yields. Basically, wheat and corn at the moment is a very healthy production. The yields are good, and the dollar has been somewhat strong. So there's a combination of good farming conditions and strong dollar has pegged these commodities back. But I think that could change. So I like the miners, and with interest rates so high, I do think it's worth buying. I do think it's worth looking at Lloyds and Barclays. If you see what's happened to Standard Chartered and HSBC, I think Lloyds and Barclays could play catch up. So that's my recommendations at the moment. I'm steering well clear of anything to do with housing and retail. I'm basically very concerned that these markets are very top heavy. At the moment, we're seeing a very nice jump here. This dip at the moment's got bought, but so that's. I hope that answers your question. That's all I've got for you now. I'm going to leave it there for now, and update you very shortly. Peter, I will get that information to you tomorrow latest. I have delayed dragging my feet again, but I will commit to getting it out to you tomorrow. Right, any final questions before I go? Got gold picking up a little bit off of these lows. Brilliant. Have a good week, guys, and talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.